Kelcat back with another video. Just got off work, man, and right now I'm fighting a cold, so if I'm clearing my throat, then you know what it is, man. But I just wanted to make a video on looks. Looks are everything. See, the thing is about looks, man. Looks can get you money. Looks can get you laid your whole entire life. Looks can fucking get you jobs. You know what I'm saying? You can manipulate a lot of situations in life with good looks. Looks are everything. Let me tell you, man. You know, when I was in my 20s, I was able to get away with a lot of things with women, dude. I used to treat women like shit and they could come back for more. You know, I remember I had this girlfriend. I had this girlfriend before I went to Brazil, and I used to treat her like shit before I went to Brazil, man. Like, cause she would be too much. I mean, she'll be all up in my face, you know, all the time. Just being too mushy and being too close to me all the time. And I used to just push her away and, you know, get off me. That's what I would say to her, man. Like, you know, when something didn't go my way, I would fucking just pout and shout and, you know what I'm saying? And she would take it, you know, because I was 20, I think I was 20 years old at the time, or 21, you know, and she would take it. She was 30 years old. She was 10 years older than me. And we used to have sex a lot, you know what I mean? And, you know, but I used to get away with a lot of shit. You know, dated another girl. I did the same thing to her. Was able to get away with a lot of shit because of my looks. I could say that I was a good 8 when I was younger. I was a good 8. You know, but I was shorter, you know. You know, I could say that I was a mini Tyrone when I was, you know, young. You know, a compact Tyrone. And I dated a lot of women in my 20s. Okay? I got away with a lot of shit. I slept with numerous women. I mean, I can at least say that I slept with 100 women throughout my 20s. Okay? 100 women. Maybe more. But it was a lot. I used to bring home women and fuck them inside of my little tiny apartment, you know. And I had no, like, problem getting them in the bedroom. No fucking problem getting women into the bedroom. At one time, I fucked 2 sisters and their friend, okay? I fucked all 3 of those girls. I was just a very, very good-looking dude. I was sitting here the other day and I was thinking in my head, like, damn, dude. I was a very, very good-looking dude, man. I haven't told you guys everything. I was a very, very good-looking dude. I'm 39 now, man. Some of the looks had faded, you know, throughout the years. But when I sat back and I thought about how many women I slept with, you know, how many dudes' girlfriends I slept with, how many wives I slept with, and I was like, wow, I have slept with a lot of fucking women in my 20s. I went through a lot of women, you know, and 100 women in 10 years, that's a lot of women. You know, it's not Tyrone status, because I'm sure he goes through 1,000, a year, or maybe in 10-year period, he might go through 1,000 while I go through 100, you know. But I sat back and I was like, wow, where have the time gone? Where has the time gone, man? I'm like, oh my God. And, you know, I started to head toward my 30s. That's when I noticed that there was a slowdown. Technology has something to do with it. Yes, it did. Technology has something to do with, the slowdown of women coming my way. But also something else started to like fade, which was my looks in my early 30s. I noticed there was signs of aging in my face because I'm always looking at my face, you know, throughout my 20s. You know what I mean? I was like always looking at my face. My face was pretty. I was cute. You know what I'm saying? And I was a real pretty boy. I was a real pretty boy. Anytime you fuck two sisters and their friend, you are a pretty boy. You are Tyrone, a mini Tyrone, because I was always 5'9". You know what I'm saying? But I just had really good facial features. I had a six pack. Everything was tighter. My face was tighter. I had a full fledged uh, uh, head of hair. I had a full fledged head of hair, and you know, I was a really good looking dude. You know, I even fucked some of the women that fucked some of the dudes that stayed in the same building as me. You know what I'm saying? So I was always getting women, man. I had some of the most beautiful women. I had like eights. I think I got up to like eights. You know, not too many though. I had a few eights. I had a lot of sevens. You know what I mean? And a lot of like eights. You know, um, women have had crushes on me too in high school. I didn't know it. Like I could say like a few years later after I finished high school, I think I was around 24, 25 years old. I ran into a chick that had a crush on me, and she told me. She told me she had a crush on me, later when we met up, years later, you know. And I didn't know it. I didn't know she had a crush on me in high school. You know what I mean? And high school, that's where all the muscles started. I had big muscles in high school. I dressed nice. I mean, like, um, I used to always have cowrie shells around my neck. I did martial arts. You know, I did a lot of things, man, and I slept with a lot of women, man. I didn't really start having sex until I was like 18 years old. That was my first time, having sex when I was full grown. But let me go back to what I was saying when I started heading toward 30. I started to notice there was a slow. I started to notice that there was a slowdown of women coming my way. You know what I mean? And once I hit 32, 33 years old, that's when I noticed it was a little tougher to get women. But also, I wasn't in shape. Okay, I blew up. I gained weight. You know, I lost my looks, and all of a sudden, I noticed that women wasn't really attentive to me no more. Women wasn't treating me like royalty no more. Because before, I used to like have women, you know, treat me like royalty. Even like when I used to get hired at jobs, and managers would look at me like, You know what I mean? Like I would get special treatment from female managers and shit, to have lunch with them and shit. And, you know, I used to be, you know, very flirtatious with their coworkers and shit, and they would all be laughing at my jokes even though they wasn't even funny. You know what I'm saying? I used to have a lot, going on. And let me back up a little bit. I met a girl back in 2006. Was it 2006? Yeah, 2006. And she was basically like 9 years older than me. She was 30. I think she was like what, 35 when I met her, or 30. Yeah, 35. She was 35 when I met her. I was 26, and I was basically dating down because this girl was like 9 years older than me. You know what I mean? And but she had money. Okay, she had money. She didn't have a body at all. Her body was just regular. You know what I'm saying? She had a very small butt. She had some okay tits, but they started to disappear. After a while. But that's later. That's later down the line. Um, well, you know, I got away with a lot with her too, man. I called her all sorts of names, man. When we used to get into fights, and they used to come back for more. You know what I mean? She used to come back for more. You know, and I used to treat her like whatever. You know what I mean? And you know, this is the time of my prime when I was like in my 20s and things were going the way I wanted them to go. I used to be able to manipulate a lot of situations with women that I cannot do now. Now that I'm older, now that I'm heading toward 40, you know, and I took an older man's girlfriend, which was her, because she was dating an older guy when she met me, but they had broke up, and during a breakup, she met me, and I took her from him. That's how much power I had, you know, as a younger guy with looks, okay? And I'm just telling you guys how much power looks have in today's society, okay? Looks can get you very far, man, especially with women, dude. You know, But let me go back to when my looks started to fade and I started to lose my superpowers. And I still got some superpowers to this day, man. I'm not bad looking. It's just not, I don't look, it's just, I don't look as good as I did when I was in my 20s. No matter how much like alcohol I stopped drinking and how much exercise I do, I just don't look as good, okay? But let me tell you, back to what I was saying when my superpower look started to like evaporate, right? So once I started to notice that my looks started to disappear and I gained weight, everybody, including women, treated me like shit. All of a sudden, I went from this Prince Charming to this fucking beast that nobody wanted to hang around, including women. Women would treat me like shit. All of a sudden, it was hard to get women. I never would forget this time. I was at this bar, and I gained a gang of weight, and I was totally delusional. I was totally delusional, thinking that I could go out and pull a chick. Well, anyway, I went out and went to a bar, the same bar I've been going to for years. You know, walked up to this chick in the club she was young. She was like at least 22, 23 years old. And here I am, like, I think I was what, 31, 32 or something like that. Something like that. And I was fat, out of shape, walked up to this chick and asked if she wanted to dance. And she looked at me and said, "Sorry, you're too old for me." And I was like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, that let me know that my looks were like fading, okay? that let me know that my looks were gone. You know what I mean? That it was like, it kind of just blew my mind that the bar that I used to go to, that I've been going to for the last like 5 years, because I started going to that bar in 2006 when I met my ex-girlfriend. Started going to that bar. I think it was 2010, 2001 or something like that. That happened around that time. That's when it happened. And I noticed that things were getting a lot more difficult to attract women all of a sudden. You know, there was no more like one night stands. Of course, I had gained weight and shit, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't in the gym. I wasn't working out. I didn't have no physique or nothing, man. I had like a stomach, just like, you know, in my 20s, I had that six pack and everything was fine. And women were treating me differently. And I was just getting over easy. I was just, women were treating me different. And, when I stayed in shape and I was young and, you know, everybody wanted to, help me. I didn't have no lack of help. I didn't have no lack of friends. You know what I mean? I was popular. People always invited me to things. You know what I'm saying? So as I got older, I started to lose my looks. That's when all the special treatment stopped. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to say here is that looks are everything. Looks can get you a lot of things in life. If you don't have looks, you're going to have a more difficult and sadder life. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to work harder in school. You're going to have to work harder at work. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to work harder to get friends. Because everybody wants to be around a guy that's good looking. Because the guy that's good looking, he attracts women. Okay? You know? So that's when I started to become an incel. Once I hit my 30s and I wasn't able to pull the chicks that I wanted to pull like I used to, like that I used to pull in my 20s. Now, I had the most sex in my 20s, even more than now. I had the most sex. If I can, man, I wish I could go back to my 20s. I would do things differently. I think I would have fucked more bitches because I would have had more confidence. You know what I mean? I would have thought like, damn, my 30s are coming up. I would have broke away from my ex-girlfriend and my fucking, and I would have fucked her probably for about a good 2 years. I would have broke up with her when I turned 28, and I would got back out there and start fucking everything that walks. Well, not everything that walks, but all the bitches that I want to fuck. Because that little time frame when I was in that relationship for about 6 years, that was the time that I could have fucked as many bitches as I possibly could. But since you're living with a chick, you're going to have to like go behind her back and do it. You know what I'm saying? But that slows down the count of how many bitches you're fucking. So if you were in a relationship, you can't fuck as many bitches as you could if you were single. You know what I'm saying? And out there, you know? So yeah, looks are everything, man. Looks. You could tell. If you're a not so good looking guy, think about it, man. Just think about it. Think about how you're treated in the public. You know what I'm saying? Because I have had my share of being not good looking, and it doesn't feel good, man. You get depressed really easily. You know what I'm saying? You can't get your dick sucked when you want to. You know what I mean? You might have sex like once a year or some shit like that. If you're lucky. That's if you're lucky. You know what I'm saying? Looks don't last forever. And I know that. The best thing we could do is make these looks last as long as possible. But once I got on my enhancements and I became, more dedicated in the gym, that's when the women came back. It's not as many they're coming back, but they're coming back. Like when I go out on out on DoorDash routes and shit like that. When I go to the stores, women are treating me a little differently. Now, the women that work there in the store, they're more attentive. You know what I'm saying? I get looks, women cutting their eyes at me and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Over and over again, not just once, but 5 or 6 times. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Looks are everything, dude. It's like it's what this society is built on. You know? And I know for a fact that the looks that I got right now, the last of my looks, they're not gonna last forever. Eventually, nigga, in the next 10 years, they're gonna be done. Probably sooner than that. Probably in the next 5 or 6 years. You know what I mean? You gotta prepare for that, man. Gotta prepare for that. You know? Yeah, so I noticed when I lost my looks, women treated me differently. I got treated differently. I got treated like I was a piece of shit on the sidewalk. Ooh, watch out for that shit. Move over. You know what I'm saying? And I told you guys, I almost got into 2 fights at this one bar that I used to go to in Walnut Creek. I told you guys about them fights a while back with them two different chicks. It wasn't even the same chicks. It was 2 different chicks. They was about to fight me, man. For real. And I went back to that same bar when I got into shape, when I was in the gym working hella hard, and I just dropped the weight, right? I just dropped that fucking weight, and I went back to that same fucking bar. And I didn't get nobody trying to fight me, man. Or no chick trying to fight me, I mean. I didn't, I got into chicks' face, stuff like that, man, and they didn't even budge. I even was hitting on this lesbian chick, and she even didn't even like get mad at me because I have gained some of my looks back. You know what I'm saying? I even was messing with her, then I went to another chick and I was hugging on another chick. You know what I'm saying? At the bar, the first thing they do is look at your face. You know what I'm saying? I was treated differently when I went to that same bar, okay? Didn't get into no fights. I was hitting up on women. You know, you know, I was getting a lot more play. I didn't get treated. I wasn't treated like a fucking animal. You know what I'm saying? This time around, when I went back, it was summertime. I had my motherfucking GI Joe fucking A shirt on. You know what I'm saying? My gym shirt that I work out in went straight from the motherfucking gym to the bar. Okay? Didn't drink much alcohol. I had like 1 drink. Walked up in there, you know, dude, I got treated like I was a man instead of a motherfucking beast that needed to be tamed. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Looks are everything. Because it determines how society is going to treat you, especially women. How society is going to treat you. You know what I'm saying? I'm 39 years old and I'm still a looker, but I don't look as good as I did when I was in my 20s, banging all those bitches, man. God, I remember fucking so many bitches, blood. I remember. Cause you know, I just remember some of the bad things in my life. I wasn't taking time out to think about all the women I slept with in my 20s. Anyway, I'm ending this video. You guys have a good day. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a like and a comment. Click the notification bell button so you'll never ever miss another video from me. Yeah, looks are everything. For real. I'm out.